ठीक है? Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to this webinar on GS2 preparation. And I have with me AIR 225 Annu Koushik Narasimha. And he was part of the mains mentorship program that I was running in a different institute. And he scored 125 marks in GS2. And this is perhaps a very good score because very few people score above 120. So the things that worked from him, the things that worked for him, how did he approach GS2? What are the sources he referred? How did he make notes? How did he do answer writing? So all these things we will be talking in this webinar. And to keep it interactive, I would like to ask you, all the people who are watching this, please ask your questions because in the end, we will take each and every of your doubts and questions. So, thank you and congratulations, Anu, for
Thank,
attending this webinar.
thank you.
So, Anu, like you scored 125 this year.
Yes, sir.
Uh, when you started preparation, how did you approach GS2 as a, subject? So, like, what was your initial perception about GS2?
Uh, sir, being from engineering background, my only knowledge about GS2 was during my school level. There was a subject known as civics, in is a branch of social studies in ICSE. So in that civics, unfortunately, due to lack of proper guidance, we were just able to by heart the concepts. Like we don't understand what is right against untouchability, but we have to by heart it and vomit out in the exam. So I had a perception of being a newcomer in this subject, but the kind of guidance I got in Delhi in an institute, so it was very fortunate to have such mentors. So they helped me to understand what is the ground reality, which was lacking in my school days. So initially I was a bit scared whether I had to by heart all these things, but later on understanding the subject, it became very much easier.
Okay.
Uh, yeah.
So, like if we talk about GS2, it is, one of the most one of the most scoring subject, you can score up
Yes.
125 and 130 here. So, among like polity, governance, IR, and social justice, which part of GS2 you found most challenging?
Uh, Sir, in all of JS2, I found mostly the part of parliament in polity section, which I found more challenging, because my approach towards the preparation was inclined towards ready-made materials like magnets and all those things. But the UPSC questions on some concepts like parliamentary procedures, or the question recently on the presiding officers at state legislature. All these things can be answered through thorough newspaper reading or watching some sessions in the sunset or such things, which I didn't have exposure of. So I was always a bit scared about such practical questions, which the the UPSC links to the direct ground level things. So this part I was a bit more scared.
Now, with respect to the sequencing, right? So, like
Yes.
among the four subjects, which subject you gave the most number of time and hours, and which subject you found it more easy to understand?
Uh, Given the weightage of subjects, my time division was in that proportion only. Quality was the most important thing. Almost half of the paper, more than half of the paper comes from this section only. So nearly 60% of my time went to quality. And the most easiest thing I found was the governance part, because it always revolves around the same thing, like on the same virtuous cycle, like human resource development, skill development, economic growth, social welfare, improving indicators in the poverty index. And this governance social justice part was very easy for me. So I had little lesser time on governance part.
Okay. Now, one very major problem with lot of aspirants face is the sources and the material, right?
Sir.
Especially with respect to IR, because IR, mein, there are so many things that there are so many developments that take place. So, how did you keep track of the IR updates?
So IR updates, there was a two-phase approach, sir. For the static part, I always relied on an institute, like a coaching material in the institute which I have joined. With regard to current affairs, I was daily reading news compilations from various institute websites. Uh, uh, Due to my phobia towards newspaper, I didn't read the newspaper, to be frank. And apart from that, magazines were very like I by-hearted the magazines as much as possible, because IR we need to have an edge over others. Our answer, if we our answer needs to have edge over others, we need to mention the depth by mentioning examples. I can quote this through an example. In 2024 mains, there was a question on Central Asian region in IR. So in that challenges, many people will write about the internal conflicts going on. But in magazine, I have read a point about a region known as Batken region between Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan, if I can recall. So mentioning such examples, regions in specific, so that will give depth to our answer and more marks. So I relied mostly on current affairs magazine and notes.
So you have made a very controversial kind of statement that you scored 125 marks in GS2 without really focusing a lot on the newspaper part. And I believe that this is also very important because at a time when we were preparing, and I see a lot of aspirants, they are wasting 3 4 hours every day on newspaper. So I think smart studying is the key. And if
Yeah.
you have good material available, which is exam centric, there's no point of devoting a lot of time in newspaper. Okay.
Uh,
Okay, so with respect to various committees, various reports, did you go through them also?
Sir, with regard to the committee things, they were already included in the static portion, which they were already included in the standard books. So reading the standard books, for example, if I'm reading the governor topic today, I will read about committees or case laws like BP single case law, or committees like Sakarya or Punchi Commission. So they were already included here and there in the static books. But before the exam, in second attempt, I had a little more time, so I made a compilation of all those committees. So revision before the exam was very much useful through that compilation. In first attempt, I was having a lack of time, so I couldn't able to do it. Yeah.
Okay. Now, with respect to note making, right? A lot of students have also asked in the questions also. Uh, what is the importance of like one pager notes in this whole GS2 preparation journey?
Uh, Sir, I feel one-pager notes serves two purposes. The first purpose, which we all know, is before the 1 week or 10 days before the exam, where we have lack of time and we want to do one quick revision, so that one-pager notes will be useful. The second thing I found is to recall concepts, sir. If we read a topic of 3 to 4 pages and we make a one-pager notes, we are aware what we have read in those 3 4 pages and what we have read in those one page. For example, if we have read a topic on one nation and one election in 3 4 pages, so we have made a one point. For example, we have read a point known as, for example, constitutional hurdles, which is a con in one nation, one election. So regarding that articles, we remember Article 83, 172, and all those elaborate things we remember. But when we write in the one-page notes, we write only constitutional hurdles. But when we read that constitutional hurdles part, we are able to recall what is the background lying behind that two words. So helps in easy recalling of all the value addition part or other part which is lying behind that. So I feel these two purposes.
So I think you have prepared. If you can show some sample of how did you made one pager notes, that will be like very
Definitely,
helpful for the aspirants.
uh, definitely, sir. I'm sharing my notes. Uh, so as I have said, this was my notes on one nation, one election. So first comes definition, the keywords on definition, and what is the significance of that particular part. what are the pros associated for pros, and what are the cons associated for cons, and some value addition like committees, case laws, uh, sorry, the committee things, the Parliamentary Standing Committee, Law Commission, and Niti Aayog two-phase election report, and a small way forward part. Way forward part may be useful when explicitly asked. If not asked, we can write the way forward in the conclusion part also. So this is made what I have read from the standard book. So now only I quoted about constitutional hurdles. So this part, if a third person reads, he may just read it as constitutional hurdles. But when I read this thing, I'll recall also the main part, the main standard book part, which I have read. So I'll recall it more elaborate. So it is advisable everyone can make their own one-pager notes. So it can be tailored to their own mindset or to their own knowledge.
So if I can go through these notes, they are very kind of crisp. So it can be revised in a day before the exam. And I think that is
Yes,
very important also, because when you have so much things in mind, it helps you in
yes,
easy recall if you can go through these very short notes just before the exam.
yes, sir.
So I think that is a very important point that you are making, because the whole idea is that a lot of people always say कि यार जब notes तो मिल ही जाएंगे हमें coaching से, so why should we make our
Yes,
own notes, right? But this is
sir.
very important that you should have your own notes, because
Yes,
in your own writing I think it helps in easy recall also.
yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, so I think
Yes,
as he has shown these notes, so it's very important, as I've always emphasized, that one pager notes are the key. So you have to make those one pager notes. Okay, I think you can
yes,
close the screen. I mean, yeah,
sir. Yes,
stop sharing. Yeah. Okay. So moving on to the in the beginning we have the source selection. Then
yes.
after that, note making. When do you think is the right time to make your own notes for GS2?
Sir, there are two aspects, sir. First, if we are aiming for prelims part, it is better if we start from the day one itself. What we have learned in that particular day, we have to start identifying what will be the key concept or what will be the potential areas which UPSC will ask. We can recognize through looking at the PYQ sections. But if we are making for mains part, we can make once we get a hold of the topic, like 5 months or 4 months after preparation, when we are acquainted with what answer writing concepts, like what we have to address in the answer or how we should structure the answer. When we are acquainted with that part, we can start making notes if we want to make only for mains. Yes,
Mm.
sir.
Okay. Now, if we talk about the answer writing part, right? Now,
Yes.
basically, if we divide GS2, so we have polity, we have governance, we have social justice, and we have IR, right?
Yes.
So, how did you ensure that your GS2 answers stood out from the others?
Uh, Sir, I focused on three aspects, sir. The first aspect is about value addition through examples. I'll write a point, put a symbol of example underneath that point. In that example, either there will be current affairs or data or case law committee value, like, or other things, value additions, like for example, some geographical regions in case of international relations or Indian initiatives. For example, in governance, there will be best examples or some real life SHGs or cooperative examples which have been a role model. So anything which stands as value addition must be mentioned because beneath the point, because it adds specificity to the answer. For example, if in governance in cooperatives, if we say, for example, efficient use of resources by cooperatives, that is a very vague point. But if we mention something like three-tier model followed by Amul cooperative, it adds more depth to the answer, and evaluator will have more clarity while evaluating our answers. So, and the second part is usage of keywords. In polity, many people write in layman language in the answers, but using those terms which are quoted in the constitution or directly or in any committees. For example, uh, the CAG is appointed by the president under his hand and seal. So it is directly mentioned in the constitution. We are just writing what is there. Such keywords by writing, uh, since the evaluator will also be a person having background in that in that domain, he will be able he will be having more relatability. So he'll get more interest and he'll award more marks. Sir, and third thing is, sir, identifying the demand of the question. This is the most important thing. And addressing the demand of the question more precisely. If there is more space available, then we can go for alternate or minor demands. So these three aspects I focus more, sir.
Okay. And what role did templates play, in improving your answer writing?
Um, Sir, with regard to template, I followed largely one template only, sir, intro, body, and conclusion. But the
Mhm,
diversity used to come in body, sir. In the
mhm,
body part, when there is an underlying minor demand, I used to use a flowchart,
mhm,
or I used to keep a diagram. So something we'll see in many coaching materials of Venn diagrams
mhm,
or other things. So such templates, I although did not codify them explicitly, I just had in my mind.
mhm.
So they helped in more giving diversity to the answer, or shifting away from a monotonous approach of answer writing.
Okay.
So they help in,
Now,
yes.
use of diagrams and flowcharts, they are very much talked about in. How did you use the diagrams and flowchart? And what part of the answer used to draw these diagrams and the flowcharts?
Sir, I used to draw them right after the introduction or in the body part. So flowchart mainly I used to address the minor demands in
Non-core
body
part.
part. Yes, sir, non-core part.
Mhm.
And diagrams largely in international relations, sir. Uh, when a question on neighborhood on India is asked, diagrams will be more useful. And in governance and social justice, like drawing some virtual cycles or some vicious loops, in those things, keeping the keywords and putting the arrows, mostly these diagrams on this.
Okay. I would like to again ask all the people who are watching this that whatever questions that you will ask, we'll address each and every question. So please don't keep it a one-way traffic. Ask your questions and we'll try to resolve whatever doubts you have with respect to GS2 preparation. Since the topic is GS2 preparation, please don't ask any other doubts. Please ensure that you are asking doubts with respect to GS2 preparation. So as I have said in the beginning also, GS2 along with ethics is the most high
To
scoring
GS2 preparation.
subject, right? It's the most high scoring subject in the whole UPSC GS papers. So that's why it's very important to start strategically. Anu has scored 125 marks in GS2, which is one of the highest marks. And therefore, in this session I would like to I would like to say that whatever doubts you have, please raise it. Okay. Acha, moving on to the next part, which is that there are a lot of questions, especially in polity, if you see, which are very philosophical in nature, and sometimes they're out of your comfort zone. So when you see a question like that, which is out of your comfort zone, how did you, or how did you generate points for these kind of questions?
Uh, Sir, with regard to some philosophical aspects like justice or liberty or equality, so I just know the basic definitions. Like, for example, what is difference between liberty and freedom? So just addressing this, writing the definitions, or writing some content around which is revolving around that particular philosophical part, and directly linking to the constitutional provisions, sir. I was very much acquainted with the constitutional statutory provisions uh, across the Indian polity. I was comfortable in that part. So wherever possible, I try to link this particular philosophy with those provisions in the constitution. Example, liberty is there. So in liberty of thought, expression, belief, liberty of belief, I'll try to link with freedom of religion, belief, faith, and worship. Liberty of expression, I'll try to link it with Article 19. Or in some, for example, if there is equality of status, I'll try to link it with DPSPs. So my answer will be, although I have limited knowledge in philosophical part, I will try to include the constitutional provisions so that they act as value addition. Simultaneously, I'll be able to fill the papers to say the more realistic manner. I'll able to write all the 2 pages or 3 pages of the answer.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, with respect to one more confusion with a lot of aspirants always faces, ki how many points to write in a 10 marker and a 15 marker, especially in GS2. So what was your strategy? How many points were you able to generate in 10 marker and 15 marker?
Uh, Sir, we have word limit of 150 marks, 150 words in 10 marker question. Removing the intro conclusion, they'll make a total of 50 words. In that 100 words, I'll try to divide into 7 to 8 points, sir. Uh, Generally, I'll try to address two demands in a 10 marker question. I'll
Mhm.
try to address three demands in a 15 marker question. And each point will be of nearly 12 to 13 words long. The point will contain both example in a crisp format as well as the main point which is there, the keyword of there in 1 to 2 lines. So total 3 lines will be there in each point. So
Mhm.
total 7 to 8 points, sir.
Okay.
In
And
15 marker,
hmm.
there will be 12 points, sir.
Okay. So idea is that we have to decide, right? We can't just write random points and
Hmm.
feel that we'll get marks. Every point should be substantiated with some example, with some
Yes,
kind of data, right? Okay, that's
yes,
a very important point that you have made. That ultimately we have to be we have to be very selective, and we have to have a balance between the number of points that we are writing and the depth of the point that we are writing,
yes, yes.
right? Okay, coming to the conclusion part, especially in polity and governance, like did you had any kind of a template, or you used to write differently for each of the questions?
Uh, Sir, in conclusion part, first of all, I have to give credit to you only, sir. I have met you in other institute. When you were in other institute, I met you for half an hour, and you told me which types of conclusions to write. In first attempt, my conclusions were very much monotonous. Thus, we should take this steps or that thing only as a way forward. But diversifying conclusions, you gave me the idea. First, my goal was to write long-term goals in conclusion, like sustainable development goals or India's vision or future targets,
Mhm.
or a brief way forward part. If way forward has not been answered in the body part, I'll try to write a way forward based conclusion in the conclusion part, or what other best initiatives are there as a value addition. So
Okay.
India should follow on this part. In polity, mostly committee recommendations or case laws, whichever I get in mind, I'll try to use them in the conclusion. These four templates I follow.
And with respect to IR?
Sir, with respect to IR, mostly India's long-term goals are there, sir, or India's policies are there. For example, in the Central Asian region, uh, India has initiated a policy known as Connect Central Asia policy uh, with regard to that particular region, or some keywords like extended neighborhood. So such or any ongoing projects like the Chabar Port project, uh, which connects India with Central Asia through Iran. Such in Indian initiatives, policies, or some keywords or significance which a region holds in particular to India. So these templates are there.
Okay. Now, with respect to the PYQ analysis, because a lot of people emphasize on that PYQ analysis do help. So, how did you use PYQ analysis during your GS2 preparation?
Sir, by reading the PYQs, I just get acquainted with what type of questions will be asked. Even in some cases, some unexpected questions will be asked. So PYQs made me be ready for the unexpected. In 2023, there was a question on uh, who are the eligible beneficiaries for null side. It was mostly a prelims question, but asking it in mains, it was very unexpected. Or some question on presiding officers of state legislature specifically. It was asked in this year. So
Mhm.
it was also very unexpected question. So this was one aspect. And apart from that, uh, PYQ questions, seeing the model answers, help me gather examples, case laws, or other value addition. So PYQs satisfied these two roles for me, sir.
Okay.
Apart from that, test series played a very important role.
Hmm. Okay. Now, with respect to, you know, there is one student who has asked this question that can we use the quotes of political leaders also in GS2?
Uh, Sir, if the quote is very much linked to the context, only then we can use, sir. The first criteria is that it should be relevant to the question demand which is asked. And the second thing is that the quote should not be backward looking, or it should not hamper the forward hamper the concept or the path where India is progressing. It should not be backward looking.
Mhm.
So liberty means the code should not be to giving unlimited freedom, or the code should not be like restricting complete freedom. It should be a balanced thing. Such things, balanced codes are mostly preferable, sir.
Okay. And I think I would also like to add on that if a person is in also holding an executive authority, then he is not just a political leader, he is an expert. For example, a prime minister or a foreign minister, they are holding in, executive authority. So I believe
Sir,
that their quotes can be used, right? Okay.
definitely.
Now, coming to the next question is with respect to, revision, right? How to do effective revision with respect to GS2?
Sir, with regard to GS2, revision is something that we do with those materials which we have kept us ready with us. So we first of all we should have knowledge of what resources we are using. In my case, I used only standard book, my notes, and
Mhm.
current affairs magazine. So I had a clarity of resources. First step is to gain clarity of what we should revise. Second thing is uh, revision should not be done only once. It should be a 2 to 3 phase process. The first phase may take some more time, second phase a lesser time, third phase more lesser time. So the time should be decreasing, and we should uh, along with revision, when we are reading a particular thing, we should be able to recall what is coming next. Only then we'll be able to maintain flow with what we are revising, or otherwise we'll get disconnected and revision will take equal time as reading as a first iteration. So
Mhm.
that should not happen. uh, these are the few points, and I'll suggest to highlight important points so that it becomes more useful for the prelims part, and highlight the value addition points with other highlighter, maybe other color highlighter.
Okay.
So yeah, yes,
Now we are just 10 days away from the mains examination.
yes.
What do you think should be the strategy? Let's say if we talk about GS2 per se, or if
Hmm.
we talk about in general,
Hmm.
like till which day we should do answer writing, and what should be the strategy for the last week, if you can throw some light on that.
Uh, Sir, first, with regard to the strategy for last 3 to 4 days, I'll say that if you have one page notes for each topic, try to revise them. If not, first of all, we should not panic, because in first attempt also I didn't have any one pager notes. I just had only my notes and standard book. Still, I scored 114 marks, which is a decent score. So no need to worry about that. But what we have in our hand, first of all, those things, like for example, we have written test series, some full length tests of various institutes. They'll give the answer key. Try to read that answer key, because many questions from test series overlap, because test series are specific. Because prelims test series question may not come directly from test series, but in mains part, many questions will overlap with what you have written in test series. Try to revise the answer keys of test series. Try to revise the value addition what is there, value addition compilation if we have, try to revise that, and try to revise the current affairs of few weeks, of nearly 4 to 5 months before this particular day. Like just brush them up, so that you can be able to easily quote them in the exam in the body points as value addition. With regard to writing part, sir, try to keep writing 4 to 5 answers each day, up
Hmm.
to 1 to 2 days before the essay paper. Uh, so that we can maintain flow. Stopping the answer writing from now on and directly attempting the exam 10 days after, there will be a little disconnect in the writing part. So to maintain the flow, try to write 4 to 5 answers. Not full length test series though. You can at least you can write 4 to 5 answers each day.
Now, with respect to solving the paper, right? What is the right way to go with if you talk about GS2, as we have said that GS2 has four parts: polity, governance, social justice, and IR. So,
Hmm.
what was your strategy? Like, which questions you used to do first, or you used to go by the sequence?
Uh, Sir, actually, keeping in mind the time constraint in mains part, there was very less time to read all the questions, try to filter out what is polity, what is governance, what is I. So that was a very difficult task. So I just went with the flow, sir. The first 35 minutes, I'll try to attempt question number 1 to question number 5. And in the next nearly 110 minutes, I'll try to attempt all the 15 marker from 11 to 20, and last 35 minutes I'll try to attempt from question 6 to 10. Like this was my strategy, which I've practiced extensively in my first attempt in test series and
Hmm.
also in my second attempt. So I was perfect in this particular. But this is not the only thing. Students can follow what they have practiced, but
Yes.
yeah, follow only what they have practiced and what they have knowledge of. Try not to do something new in the exam. Uh, do only what they know. Uh, so this was my strategy, sir.
Now, a, uh, a lot of students have this doubt and question that we have not completed the whole syllabus.
Hmm.
How can we start answer writing for GS2? So, what do you think should be your suggestion? That do you think we should wait till the time we complete all the syllabus, we have done enough revision, and then we should start answer writing? Or do you think once we have done a certain part of the syllabus, we can practice some kind of answer writing?
Uh, so the answer to this question varies across various individuals. If for in case of my opinion, I'll say that uh, we have to start answer writing from day one only, which I practiced in my first attempt.
Mhm.
Because of that only I cleared my mains in my first attempt and gone till interview. Because and also not to speak about syllabus completion, but try to focus on that particular day only. For example, in governance, we have read self-help groups on that particular day. Try write to only answers only on self-help groups. We'll
Mhm.
at least find 4 to 5 PYQs in governance part on self-help groups easily.
Mhm.
Not if not PYQs, we'll find some practice questions of any institute in like daily answer writing practice or some other practice questions easily we'll find out.
Mhm.
What we have read on that particular day, try to write answers on that particular day only. Also, while writing the answers, try to focus on time limit, answering the word limit within the given time, and also improving the quality of answers through data value addition, or using keywords and writing more quality answers. These two things should be kept in mind.
Okay. So, summarizing what you have said, and I think you have almost cleared everything, that first of all, notes are very important, especially the
Yes.
one pager notes.
Yes.
So, see, I am telling you the mantra of a topper who has scored 125 marks. Second, answer writing is very important, and you should start from day one. Third,
Yes.
very important to have certain pre-prepared conclusion and introduction, especially in your notes, so that that can save your time. Fourthly, as you have said, that we should have we should have list of those keywords, those data, those committees that should be there in your answers. And fifth, diagrams are important, but it should be drawn only in the non-core part. And sixth, we have to have a balance between the number of points we are writing and the depth in the points, right?
Yes.
One question is asked, what should be a strategy? Okay. With respect to memorization, how to memorize so many facts and news that we are studying during this whole preparation journey.
Mm. Yes, sir. Memorization is like if we speak in reality is an integral part of our learning process. But memorization need not go in single. We need not go. We need not memorize in a single go. we need not memorize. Like in one reading, it is not that we have to become perfect of all the aspects. In one reading, if we start memorizing 30% of what we have read, in second subsequent revision, we'll get acquainted with other 30%. And also the first 30% will get reinforced in our brain very, very deeply.
Mhm.
In the third revision, maybe we'll get other 20%. In fourth revision, maybe the other 5%. So uh, as the number of revision increases, then the concepts or things which I have read will get deeply reinforced in our mind. For this, the prerequisite is that we are revising the source which we are repeatedly revising, be it our notes, in putting it first. So generally, we'll have our notes, we'll revise it multiple times, and we'll have a standard book, repeatedly revising it multiple times. Only then we'll be able to recall the concepts. If still not if still not recollecting or able to memorize them, try to make some small stick notes and try to stick it in front of your study desk, such or try to write it on your table so that you see it every day. Such techniques are also there, but you can use rarely. In case you are revising multiple times, definitely you'll remember more than 90% of what content you have read. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I think you have made a lot of things clear, and it is very, very
Sure.
important that a lot of aspirants. So basically, the idea is that we have time if the aspirants are preparing for 2026. This is the 4 5 months that are very
Yes.
important, where you can develop
Yes.
your base for mains answer writing. Because
Yes.
I think you will also agree with me that between
Yes.
prelims and mains, the final polishing happens. The base
Definitely.
is developed in these 4 5 months that we have before we shift to the prelims mode.
Definitely.
So I think thank you, Anu, for joining us, and very, very all the best to your training. You will be joining the training soon. So
Yeah.
all the very best for that. And
Thank
I
you.
am very confident that you will again give the exam and you will get a
Definitely.
top 10 rank in the subsequent years. And
Definitely.
thank you and all the best. And thank you for joining again.
Thank you very much, sir.